If you're like me and you spiral into existential dread by any mention of productivity or the optimal path that society expects us to follow, or if you think about something long enough and you always end up to the conclusion that everything is pointless and nothing matters and we are just all going to die in the end, so why should I do anything? This video is for you. Hopefully this video can be helpful to someone. But first and foremost, this video is a reminder to myself whenever I feel like just dropping everything and moving to a forest with a pack of wolves. I was never religious. I just always thought that there must be something more to this world. I struggled a lot mentally during my teenage years and also early adulthood. And the only thing that gave me joy during those times was movement. I guess back then I started to realize that to get a break from my mind, I need to get back into my body. I'm of course going to mention yoga. That is a practice that has gotten me through my life. It has given me wisdom and peace and clarity and joy. Yoga has completely transformed my life. One book that has been significant on my spiritual journey has been the book by Eckhart Tolle called The Power of Now. I recommend if you decide to pick it up, just read it with an open mind. After I had already started to heal from my own struggles, there have been things in my life that have completely shattered it. I have lost a lot of loved ones in the recent years. Just last week, my grandfather passed away. He was very dear to me. Last year, we had to let go of our dog, who was my soulmate, and some years ago, I lost my sister. And if you have lost someone close to you too, you know it completely turns your life around and you see things differently. It is so hard to realize that you can't see someone you love ever again. The only thing I can do is to cherish the moments I had with them and to live my life to the fullest in honor of them. I can live my life with wonder, with gratitude, with love. I can stay curious and see every day like it was my first. It is a miracle, this life. And I really think we shouldn't be so afraid to talk about death. I know this sounds morbid, but we are all going to die someday. That is the one thing that is guaranteed. I really like this quote from Michael A. Singer. Death helps you to get your life back by making you pay attention to the moment. Death is not taking something away from you. Death is constantly giving you something. Death is giving you meaning to your life. His book called Untethered Soul, I really recommend, especially if you're going through trauma or grief. I found it super helpful. It is really eye-opening, and I also think it's a bit more accessible than The Power of Now. To be a functional human, we need some ground rules. And whenever I feel overwhelmed and that things are falling apart, I know I will be fine. Because at the very least, I will do these things. And they are as follows. 1. Nourishing food. More colors, the better. 2. 8 hours of sleep. 3. Go outside. And 4. Move your body. Us humans live in a physical body. I'm sure in the future we will transfer our consciousness into computers or weird stuff like that. But for now, you have a physical body and you need to take care of it. There's no getting around that. So, food. Your relationship with food is incredibly complex, and I can't even imagine being able to cover all of that or even being entitled to do so. But I will say this. When I stopped restricting myself, when I started to allow myself to eat whatever, whenever, how much I wanted, I have been a million times happier. You need sustenance to live. You need vitamins and minerals and protein and fat and carbs and everything, all of that to live, to survive. This is why I say nourishing food. I'd like to reframe healthy food and completely throw clean eating to the bin, because it's just ridiculous, a ridiculous term. Yes, please eat your vegetables. Eat as many colors as you can. But in addition to those veggies, also eat ice cream if you crave it. Nourishing food means nourishing for the body, for the mind and the soul. It means fruits and veggies and pizza and ice cream and fries and whatever you want to eat. Sleep. I personally can't get anything done if I don't get my 8 hours, or even better, 9 hours. When I'm stressed, I have problems to fall asleep, and I have not yet cracked this dilemma. But one effective way to fall asleep for me is to read Crime and Punishment. Go outside. It's crazy how problems can feel so big when you're inside, and when you just get outside, the second you step outside, they feel so much lighter. Humans are animals, and no animal was meant to live inside. So please get outside, look at the sky, look at the universe, feel the sun if the sun is shining, or at least look at the clouds and feel the rain on your face, and breathe fresh air. Just go outside. That's all I ask. Moving your body is a great way to process feelings. You can think your way out of your mind's problems. Yes, talking to someone, and if you don't have anyone to talk to and open up to, writing them down are essential, but you also need to let those feelings out physically, or you will just store them in your body. You can do anything: dancing, cycling, running, swimming, jumping, going to the gym, roller skating, ice skating, skating. You can try any sport. I promise you will find something for you. There are so many things you could do to move. Feeling all these negative feelings like anger, rage, anxiety, sadness, grief, they can be very confusing, and moving is such a good way to release them. I will say the next thing, with the risk that it will make me sound extremely old. When I grew up, I didn't have social media. Yeah, there was like MySpace and whatever, but not social media in a way where you could scroll endlessly. When I got a phone that could access internet, it was super expensive, so I had to be quick and just pray that my parents didn't notice it in the phone bill. I just feel like at that time I had so much more creativity. I would make up scenarios in my head all the time when I was bored. I would write stories, I would draw. I was so much more creative. And I'm not saying that social media is evil. Like, I really enjoy aspects of social media, like making these videos, reaching more people. I have made friends through Instagram. The whole argument against social media is not black and white. The crux is that I've lost my imagination and the wonder that I felt towards life when I was younger, and that's what I would like to get back. I guess the problem is that because I'm taking other ideas in all the time, I don't have a space in my head for an original thought. And of course, all ideas come from somewhere, but I mean, I have stopped expanding and adapting these ideas because I don't have a second of boredom these days. At the same time, I feel bored all the time. I guess that's the paradox of social media. There are so many things to choose from that I feel numb and overwhelmed, and then I still just watch something to numb myself even more, and just out of habit and just to do something. You know, even a year ago when I was walking somewhere or sitting on a bus and my headphones would run out of battery, that would be a disaster. It would stress me out so much to not have something to listen to. It seemed daunting to not have music or a podcast or a YouTube video playing in my ears. And when I realized this, I had to question it. I had to ask myself, why can't I just be with my own thoughts? Why couldn't I just look outside, look at the world, and enjoy the present moment? This sounds a bit ridiculous, but I hope some people can relate. But when I started to leave my headphones at home and just be in silence, it opened up a whole new world for me. When you are so used to always having something on the background and you are introduced to silence again, it can feel terrifying. But also what I started to notice was that I started to have ideas again. Ideas for videos like this, ideas for stories, or just I was processing feelings that I was experiencing. For me, that was groundbreaking. Another thing, in addition to the headphones, is that I always watch something in the evening. I put on Netflix or YouTube, and that's the way I wind down. Nothing wrong with that if you enjoy it. But the question is, do I actually enjoy it? Or do I just do it because of habit? And I need to ask myself, am I doing this to distract myself from something that has happened in my life? And also, I don't think that is always a bad thing. You need a break from your feelings sometimes. Take some distance from your mind, which I know can be really intense sometimes. So don't feel bad about doing that, but also just ask yourself, are you ever going to address this problem? This is the balance that I'm working on, to consume content, to enjoy it, not to distract and self-sabotage. Look, this video is not about minimizing distractions so you can be the most productive version of yourself. That is just not what I think life is about, because I don't think we came to this world to achieve something. Even though I don't know what the meaning of life is and what the hell is going on, I'm here, so I might as well try to enjoy the ride. And I just want to love and be loved. That is all I ask in this life. When I have free time, I want to use that on my hobbies and my interests. As an adult, it's obviously not as easy to have hobbies like you had as a kid, but I think it's definitely possible. I always say, oh, I'd like to draw, but I just don't have time. But I do have time. I just choose to spend the time scrolling on Instagram. Or, to be honest, I don't even choose how to use my time. Before I know it, I am on Instagram. I can't remember the last time I just listened to music. As in, that was the only thing I was doing. I'm always listening to music when I'm walking, when I'm working out, when I'm running. I remember when I was in high school and I had my first job, I saved my money to buy a stereo, and so often I was just lying on the floor in my room, my eyes closed, and I listened through a whole album. It felt so luxurious to do just one thing. These days, everything is about multitasking, and that kind of slow living, focus, is definitely what I crave now. Reading is one thing that also needs all your focus. You can't really do anything when you're reading. Although when I was a kid, I used to loan all my books from the library, and when I was walking back home, I used to read the book like this as I was walking. But I don't really recommend it because I was also bumping into things a lot. So anyway, I have actually gotten back to reading these past few years, and that is thanks to social media and the book community there, like BookTube. So if you have a hobby that you used to love as a kid and you would love to get back to now, I really recommend you to find a community and involve yourself in it. For example, with reading, Goodreads is the really old app that you can write reviews of the books, you can comment, like other people's reviews. On YouTube, there are amazing booktubers, to name a few, the Book Leo, Jack Edwards, and on Carly. Or you can join a book club. I'm planning to join a fantasy sci-fi book club that is here in Eindhoven sometimes. They haven't had a meeting in a while, but I want to go to the next one. If you have loved painting before, join a painting course if you can. Singing, dancing, there are also sports clubs for adults. As an adult, you just have to look for them, and it requires effort you to go after your hobbies. I'm just getting back to reading because I feel like that is a basic thing that a lot of people enjoyed when they were younger. Just read what you enjoy. I'm reading Animorphs now, which was my favorite series as a kid, and it's probably not cool to read them, but I enjoy it. So the crux here is to pinpoint things that you enjoy and try to implement those things in your everyday life as much as possible. Groundbreaking, I know, but something that we forget. We as adults tend to settle for things that adults are supposed to do, but why not do things that you yourself enjoy? Again, I think it's a good idea to look at things that you enjoyed as a kid. That might be a good indicator what you might like now too, and go after those things, even if that's reading about kids that turn into animals. Reminder list. So I have this list on my phone that is titled the apathy/anxiety battle plan. These are very, very basic things, but when I'm feeling bad, I kind of forget about why I feel bad and what I need to do to get out of that state of mind. A feel-good playlist. I have a playlist on my Spotify called Listen to This If You Feel Like Shit. And it is filled with songs that are nostalgic. I love getting nostalgic about things, but it is a slippery slope about being happy nostalgic and getting dragged down by nostalgia and thinking that before everything was better and I wish I could go back to that time. So all the songs on this list don't have any attachment to some kind of memory or time. They are just songs that make me feel genuinely hopeful and better. Speak to someone. Seriously. Personally, I'm not the best at this, but I am trying to improve. Having someone there, not necessarily giving advice or solving your problems, just listening, can be so helpful and give you so much relief. And as I said before, if you feel like you don't have anyone you can open up to, journaling personally has helped me so much. Let everything out on paper. I guarantee it will make you feel at least a bit better. And please, if you have it available to you and you can and you need to, seek professional help. Enjoying the little things. This is a practice I do every day. I try to find enjoyment in life as much as I can. When I'm walking outside, I love to watch the birds and feel at least a piece of the freedom that they must be feeling when they are flying. I love my everyday coffee, and when I'm making my coffee, I try to stop and notice the moment. So whatever ordinary thing you do daily, try to make that routine sacred. Savor every detail of that action. The sounds, the smells, the taste. Be in the present moment. So those are things that have helped me to enjoy life more. I really hope you found it helpful, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.